everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Today on Successful Selling Tips, the series that is going to help you take your business to the next level and your sales ability.
How
Yes.
to overcome the put off. I'm so
too
busy. I'm just too busy. I've got so much going on.
Oh my gosh, I'm too busy. I can't talk right now. We hear that put up. We actually hear that put off a lot. We also hear it in the context of when you're prospecting and calling people to get them on the phone to talk about your product or service. But we also hear it as an objection of why they don't enroll in a training.
And Alfredo and Hannah and Richard Avery are on because they are not too busy.
Yes.
Hey, guys.
So first of all, we would like to do a integrity check for yourself, because if you continue to hear that in the sales conversation, oh, I'm too busy to talk, right now is not a good time. And also if you hear that when you go in for the close, let's say that you have a coaching product or a training product, if you hear the objection, I'm too busy, I don't have the time, then are you saying that in your life? Or are you telling that story yourself?
Because it is a story, by the way. In fact, we had a couple calls this morning.
Yeah.
And this is kind of what brought about this topic. And I think it's one that a lot of us unconsciously, right? We don't realize we're actually putting off the I'm busy attitude or the I'm busy mindset.
It is a new meme in our culture that everybody is busy and they're busy doing busy stuff.
So here's one way.
But no, seriously, there's a huge validation. A lot of people feel like they wear it as a badge of honor of like, it's almost like
I'm a busy person. Yes, you are. And so are we and the rest of us.
And if you continue to be busy, like how productive are you being busy? And in us, in NLP terminology, it screams that somebody's being reactive. And so even when I say it, I catch myself. I'm like, am I being busy or am I being more productive? So that's change the language in yourself first.
That's one quick tip. One way, we've got a few that we're going to cover on this quick video. One way is to say, hey, that's great. You're busy. I'm busy. We're all busy. Right?
Agree with them.
That's agreement.
It's agreement frame.
I know you're busy. I
can respect that.
Thankfully, you are busy, and many
that's
people
a good thing.
Are not busy. Now, let's ask ourselves, how productive are you? Are you productive? Because there's a lot of people that they confuse busy with, well, just being busy. And sometimes being busy is wasting time on Facebook or wasting time on social media or doing something else. So ask, how productive are you? Or is that busyness turning into results? Because there's either reasons or results from a sales perspective. Since we're talking about sales, kind of it's fitting, yeah? What else?
So if you hear the put off, like let's give you a container. So let's say you're making a call to a prospect, and this is an example that we've heard a lot in our company, and I've heard it many times on sales calls, is that you've called them many times, and every time they're in this busy mode. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm so busy, I don't have time to talk. Can I call you back later? And that goes on and on and on. Maybe it's the first time. Remember, we talk about this in other trainings. First time's
a fluke.
And of course, if they're busy, like let's say that they're in the middle of dinner or something like that, you don't want to be like, hey, let's talk anyways. Like, I don't care if you're busy, let's talk, because that's rude.
So
you want to intuitively know if they truly are business. Second time, we say could be a pattern.
Could be a pattern.
Third time, definitely a pattern.
And here's the thing, if it's showing up in your sales call, if it's showing up in your communication, whether it's an appointment, an event, simply just casual conversations, and these types of reasons, or we also call them excuses.
Yes.
If they keep showing up, it's a pattern. And here's the thing, with total integrity, if you have a product or service, you can absolutely help your client. You can totally solve the problem. If you know you could just get your foot in the door, you must. With total integrity.
Yes.
With confidence, call them out on this pattern.
Yeah, it's putting down a boundary.
One thing so many people don't do because they don't know how to use language to be able to diplomatically, I should say, or softly call them out. It's a pattern.
In a coaching way, I mean, you're literally, if you allow that pattern to continue, you know that is going to continue. And from a neurological point of view, they are actually rewiring the behavior, and it's getting stronger, and they're totally unconscious of it.
It's just like walking the dog when they're pulling on the leash really hard and you let it happen and it keeps happening, they're going to keep doing it. So you're actually training the client that it's okay to be busy and waste my time because my time's not valuable.
Yeah.
So just consider that if this objection keeps happening, one, it could be a projection. Two, there's a lot of reframes that we have around language to make sure
Yeah.
you break through, call the client out. Because listen, if you call them out, you actually will shine light on probably a major problem that is in their business, that's maybe in their relationship, maybe it's in their family, maybe it's in a lot of areas of life. Because what we find with the coaching and the work we do, it's not just one area of life that all these challenges show up in. It's multiple problems or multiple areas of life that some of these situations show up in.
And if you are a coach, then it is your responsibility as the coach to call them out in the sales cycle. And actually, they will appreciate you if you do it in a way that builds rapport and is for their highest and best. Because when you establish that you are not going to put up with their bull crap, essentially it's their unconscious bull crap. When you establish that early on in the coaching relationship, or the sales, but it's the same thing. The coaching starts in the sales process, because a lot of times the client's unconscious behaviors come up whenever it comes to making a commitment or investing in themselves. All their bull crap comes to the surface in that process. So it's your job as the coach to be the salesperson and to call them out on behavior. And you can do it in a variety of ways. You can either be blunt. Brandon's the blunt coach.
The blunt business coach.
Yes. Or you can do it in a more elegant, graceful way. So what does the blunt way look like?
Well, you can always reframe it back. So
Yes.
we teach this in our training, and this is why it's so important, because coaching is sales and sales is really coaching.
Yes.
And listen, if your team members, maybe you built a team and maybe you've got some employees or somebody on your team and they're giving you, oh, I'm so busy, I got this. Well, what specifically are you busy doing, right? Get down to some details so you can actually understand, is it an important busy? Or is it a up in the clouds, airy-fairy busy? Because here's the thing, you want to know. You want to know what the real objection is, because being busy is B-U-S-Y. You. They are bullshitting you. That's what they're doing. That's what busy means. So we kind of came up with that acronym today.
Because we're talking about this.
B-U, bull, and S-Y. So the thing is, get specific. What is really going on, and what are they putting off, or what are they not addressing that they need to address? And it just needs to be communicated. There's so much language that is unconscious and it's not talked about. And so what happens is that behavior will fester, and it'll either if you decide to do business with them, it'll blow up in the transaction, it'll blow up in that timeline or that relationship. And you want to solve those issues now. That's why so many people struggle for client retention. Clients quit, clients cancel. It's because they never smoked out all the objections around busy. Okay,
so give us an example of how to call them out in a blunt way.
Okay, so recently I was just talking to a gal today. She's like, oh, I'm so busy. I've got so much going on. I go, I'm so busy too. We're busy. We're all busy. I said, and how productive are you? Are you getting results? And I went in immediately and asked her, how's your business? And then we started talking about transactions. How's the volume? And so basically got right past that into the front door and realized she's all over the place, right? She's scattered. And that scattered thinking, just by actually having a phone call with her, makes her realize, which I'm thinking about 20 to 25% more consciousness, awareness to her behavior, which now she's more aware of it. But it's part of the reason why she's struggling with commission closings and making more sales. And it's that behavior in our own schedule, that own discipline, that is keeping us from actually moving forward with our clients. And being busy is definitely, I was very clear on my projection, because I don't ever like to say busy. I think busy is a waste of time. It's not a very high intellect word to use when you're talking about business and getting things done. That's results for us.
So I have an example of really being blunt. And of course you want to have rapport. So one of the ways that you could say, be very blunt is, okay, so yeah, I am super busy. And then you could say, and I said this earlier today and it was funny and we had a laugh about it. I'm like, busy is the new way of an excuse of why people don't have the business the way they want it.
Why they don't have their life the way they want it. That was what you actually said. That was actually smooth.
It worked. Really good. It worked. It was a pattern interrupt in NLP terminology. It was a pattern interrupt, and we had a little chuckle, and then we got back on the same page. Now, here's another way of doing it, which is a more graceful, elegant way. Especially if you're a coach, it's your responsibility to call them out. And they're talking to you because they truly do want to help and transform their lives, which means letting go of behavioral patterns that are getting in the way of them being successful. So you could say something like this. It's 3 times that they've given you the put off, I'm busy.
I'm so busy.
Yeah, so you could say, I can appreciate that, and I am busy too. And I'm wondering, is it all right if I give you some feedback? Because I'm noticing a pattern here. Every time that we've talked, for the last 3 times, you've told me that you're super busy. And because you were, we were originally going to talk because you were interested in working with me as a coach, I think it's my responsibility to give you this feedback if it is okay with you, because I see a pattern here. When we see something that happens more than 2 to 3 times, it means that there could possibly be a pattern. So
because we geek out on human behavior.
Yeah, we geek out
on human behavior. In fact, we love human behavior. We find it fascinating.
Yeah.
And because we find human behavior fascinating,
it softens it.
We've noticed a pattern here.
Yeah.
And we just want to let you be aware of it. Maybe you're not. Maybe you already are. And then you deliver it.
And then you deliver the feedback. I see this pattern, and it could be, and then you could also say, like, what are the areas of your life do you find yourself being too busy to commit to yourself, or whatever?
Where else is this showing up?
It could be a busy pattern. It could be, I don't have time. It could be whatever it is. And so you give the feedback, and they can either take the feedback or not. And if they say that they don't want the feedback, then they're probably not a client.
Then don't give it, because if they're not open, they're certainly not going to receive it, right? We've all dealt with a client that's completely, we call them arrested. They're just closed off. They're closed off, they're not even going to listen. And that, for us, that's not really the client that we want to do business with. So hopefully that helps. Any other objections?
So you can either call them out and be truly blunt, and of course use the agreement frame. I agree with you.
I agree.
We're all busy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thankfully, you are busy. You're so busy, and that's
you can
great.
reframe it itself. Isn't that a good thing to be busy?
That's great. There's so many people that aren't busy and wish they could actually create some more production and get better results. So.
And again, if they truly are busy and you're catching them at a bad time, be sensitive and intuitive to that, because there's nothing worse than somebody trying to have a call with you when you truly are in the middle of something, like the kids are screaming and you're cooking dinner or driving
at the movie theater, whatever.
And if it's a pattern, if it's happening more than, call it out. It is your responsibility as the salesperson. And even if you're not a coach, and if you're selling a product or service, still call it out. You can call these things out with rapport. And if you ask them, are they open to feedback? I mean, it's a coaching moment. Every salesperson is a coach, in my opinion.
And here's the thing is, if they're saying I'm so busy to you as, like, say, business to business or a vendor or something else, can you imagine if they're saying that to their clients? How does that look for them in their business? Because I happen to be talking to a real estate agent, and she's like, I'm so busy. But here's the thing. If she goes and tells a client that, a seller, I'm so busy, she's probably going to get fired, or she may not even get the listing. Now, if you're a buyer agent, you can be busy. But if you are talking to specifically sellers, that's a great way to get fired, because they're going to be like, oh, you're too busy? You're too busy for me? Too busy for my client? Too busy to sell my house? That's not good language if we're trying to build ultimate rapport and actually serve the client to the best abilities that we absolutely can. And again, you've got to have a great product. You got to have a great service, so you can help them, because that's total ecology. That is total integrity. And that's the first thing we say, hey, I want to show up on this call today and with complete integrity in mind. First of all, we got to show up with complete integrity. And we start a lot of our calls that way, because guess what? There's a lot of people that don't show up with that, and it's good to bring that to the table, bring it to the surface, and air it out. That's true, clear communication.
And part of integrity is calling out patterns that aren't serving the process, the success. I mean, even if you're a business owner that sells a product or service, again, if you're not putting them in a process and putting them through boundaries, they won't be successful, in your heart. So it's your job to call them out on that.
Yep.
So
that will create massive success.
If you have negative emotions around this, if this makes you feel uncomfortable, that's okay, because it's like learning. It's anything else, learning something new. The more you practice, the stronger you get. And there could be some negative emotions or, limiting beliefs that are getting in the way of it too. So check yourself there. What's preventing me from, speaking the truth, putting down boundaries, saying what I want to say? Because most of the time, those times where you really wanted to call somebody out, but then you hold yourself back because you have unconscious limitations that are holding you back. Maybe the fear of them, reacting or getting mad at you or getting upset, or maybe trying to stay away or avoiding conflict. The more that you avoid conflict, the more conflict you're going to get, by the way.
Because you're not able to resolve it.
Law of the universe.
You're projecting it.
Yeah.
And if this is something that kind of caused a little bit of negative emotions, like, oh my gosh, I could never say that to my clients, That's okay. We've had a lot of clients that said this, and then they got confident with language.
Yeah.
They cleared it out inside of them. Here's a quick tip. I'm not saying it's your projection. If this created any kind of a trigger for you and you had any kind of a visceral reaction in your stomach, or you're like, gosh, that's terrible, how could you say that? Listen, it's about ultimate rapport. And if you really want to serve your client, you need to say what you need to say. It's not so much, it is important what you say, but it's also important how you deliver that message. That's extremely important, with the right tonality, right? Just the right heart-centered way of saying it. Like, we don't want to say it from a point of anger or frustration. We want to deliver it with love and care and kindness, and kindly call them out. So I'm not saying it is your projection if this is like, if this, triggered something, but it's definitely something to investigate to see if that's something that would resolve that in yourself, because it's powerful once somebody realizes, yeah, I need to stop saying I'm busy all the time. It's amazing what all of a sudden shifts in your clients. They stop saying it too, because now you can get down to business.
Yep.
So hopefully this tip helped. If you're watching this on the replay, put in the comments, maybe you have an objection, or maybe you have a solution on how you overcome, and you said to someone on the phone, or maybe in a meeting, or you kind of gently, politely called them out. Maybe you could write it in the comments, because we'd love to learn and pick up some more solutions of how to call someone out in a gentle way.
Yes.
That I'm too busy.
Think about all the people that you've been reaching out to in your prospecting, and make a list of the people that have been putting you off, and go and take action and call them and put down a boundary.
Yeah, it's so important.
It's good.
By the way, just learning
hey, what do you
this,
got to lose? What do you got to lose?
Yeah.
They're putting you off anyways, and you may be this may be the one opportunity that they become self-aware for the very first time. You actually have a neurological shift, and they change their behavior, and they end up buying. If they don't, then big deal. You're wasting time and energy anyways. So take action. Do it now. It will feel good. The first time is like ripping off the Band-Aid. You'll be all right. Even if they get pissed off, it doesn't matter. What's the worst thing they can do? Hang up on you?
What's the worst thing that can happen? They tell you, I'm just too busy again.
Yeah.
And maybe they really are, and that's okay. But you really could wake them up to some awareness, and maybe they do actually buy from you.
Again, you don't need clients, they need you.
Yeah.
So stop, again, coming in from a place of heart, and coming in from a place of confidence, and really wanting to help and serve the client. The message will get delivered a lot better.
And the next video we'll do is about boundaries and accountability when the sales, with this particular issue exactly around this.
Yep.
So hopefully you got some value out of this. Have a great Friday. Have an amazing weekend.
We look forward to seeing you soon.
See ya.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like our content and you want to see more, hit the subscribe button below. We'll be posting videos every single week.
And if you want to learn more about NLP or a certification program, or even performance coaching, come join us on our website at yagertraining.com, and you can find the link in the description below. We hope to see you on the next video. Thank you.